Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ECL, or the Esport Championship League, sponsored by Red Bull. Of course, I am Luminous. I'm joined by Merlini. How's your Farmer Tank going?
Pretty good. Not bad. Not so bad. Not as bad as yours.
I don't know, Farmer Tank. It looks so light up here.
You call yourself an Asian.
The sweat is glistening up in this. Of course, it's Orange Esport versus Rising Star. This is game 2 of a best-of-3 situation with Orange Esport up 1 game. But before we want to jump into the draft, I think the big storyline we got out of last game is how well the Orange support were playing. Maybe not really apparent in the early game phase because they're mostly defensive when they're doing defensive disrupt, living armor, and all that stuff. But once the big team fight came out and once it got to crunch time, the support just took over. Yep. And that's not something you can say too much about most
Clutch
other teams.
factory.
Yeah, clutch factor from supports. But with that said, let's actually jump into the draft. Rising Star on the Radiant side this time. And our Chinese stream is dying on the background. And of course, the Orange is going to be on the Dire. Look at the support lineup, or the carry lineup here from Rising Star. Alchemist and Lifestealer once again.
Yeah, Alchemist is, seen time and time again how much he can farm, how much of a pain in the butt he is to deal with, and synergizes very well with a lot of other physical damage heroes because of the acid spray. Very good at taking out Roshan, just safe lane farming Beast, a lot of HP, natural tankiness, hard to gank. The list goes on and on as to why Alchemist is constantly first pick, and on top of that, he's flexible. He can be a carry, he can be a support, and he can be in the mid. So this hero can just do a little bit of everything.
But the biggest thing is that you pick up the Lifestealer, you gotta ban the Razor. The Chinese team have been banning it, and Rising Star fell prey to Mushi's Razor in that previous game. They will get rid of it, though. Mushi, I'm not sure that whether he cares about Razor being banned out. He has such a wide hero pool on the mid lane. We've seen him play anything and everything in between. You know, Mirana, for example, in the solo mid position, to the more standard Queen of Pain and Puck of that sort of type of hero.
Yeah, I would just say I wouldn't actually think that Razor is like ban worthy just because you picked this life sealer. There's a lot of other heroes that just cause tons of problems, like Darkseer can just surge away, Shadow Demon already banned out with the defensive disruption and the purge. I just don't really feel that Razor made or break for him last game. Sure, Mushi played decently and it was like constantly annoying for him because he had to pop his Infest cooldown a little bit early to get rid of the static link or bounce in and out of combat. But in terms of like actually banning the hero, I don't think but Rising Stars disagrees.
Yeah, he was actually quite annoying to deal with early on. Like, they had trouble killing him. Mushi was able to kill a ton of people because the damage against the Razor was pretty lackluster. I think it's okay when you're running double melee carries in the form of Alchemist and Lifestealer. I think it's warrant a ban. It's one of those heroes that beat you quite easily. I think I would rather even deal with a Puck or a Queen of Pain over a Razor, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well, Orange looks like they have picked Visage and Windrunner. We've seen Windrunner sometimes from Mushi in the mid lane, so it's not a support winner or even a safe lane farming Windrunner that we see sometimes. Orange still pretty flexible with how they want to do their lanes.
Yeah, generally when Orange picks up a Windrunner, like they actually like to go offensive trialing here on the Windrunner, with the Windrunner on the more of the carry role. Ohio is landing amazing shackle shots every time I see him play the Windrunner. So generally he is the de facto Windrunner player. And previously I talked about Visage during the pick and ban of game number 1. I personally love Visage on the offensive trialing when you are kind of harassing with your 600 range. If there's anything going on, your Soul Assumption is such a long range spell that it lets you chase or back up and still maintain the ability to take fights. So I do look towards the Orange Esport going for that offensive trialing. And against Lifestealer and Alchemist, these are fairly easy heroes to kind of harass in lane.
So how are Rising Stars going to do their lanes? Are they going to do Lifestealer in the triple lane and Alchemist in the mid lane by default?
I think what they're looking towards to is Lifestealer on the defensive lane and Alchemist on solo mid. Rising Stars is one of those teams that do run Alchemist on the solo mid position. But I think Orange East were very smart ban here, banning out both jungler because Rising Stars love to do their jungle smoke gang that we saw.
They didn't ban a Queen of Pain.
Well, the Queen of Pain does not actually work without the jungle smoke gang. So I think you allow them to actually get the Queen of Pain now. And a Weaver being picked up here. I think Weaver on a solo mid position just wrecks on anybody, right?
Yeah, I think Weaver is a really good pickup here. They don't have it's pretty good for his Lifestealer. It's decent for his Alchemist. Alchemist doesn't have a lot of armor, so pretty susceptible to the Swarm, especially in extended team fights. And he's really easy to lane. They don't have some of the good supports are already taken out. None of the jungle heroes that you talked about. And Rising Stars, what are they going to do as the remainder of their triple lane?
Yeah, I wonder if their supports is going to have the similar amount of impact as they have in previous games without the jungle play. They like to smoke a lot, get early game kills, and more importantly, transition from those early game kills into tower kills. Now, without those kind of support available, they're going to pick up the Rubik at least for now, but do look towards them to pick up some more of the offensive trialing hero supports, because I feel that if you take away the jungle play from them, they have to kind of rely on more of the traditional way of reading the early game, which is, I guess, offensive tri lane or just straight up lane dominance. And Lifestealer and Alchemist not exactly too good at just raw lane dominating.
Neither of these teams have exceptional team fight capabilities. There is the potential for a large shackle shot from the Windrunner on the side of Orange, but other than that, it's a lot of single target spells. There's a lot of like small AoE. No, nothing like an epicenter or burrow strike on 4 heroes that we're likely to see yet thus far. But I mean, it looks like it's just
there you go.
Yep, there it is. They need some more team fight potential, though. It is always nice to have extra AoE, extra AoE stuns, and it can't hurt. Sand King played very well by Orange. Net and Extinct both play fantastic ones.
Yeah, generally Net actually plays the Sand King for the team, but he was playing the Shadow Demon last game. But this time we're definitely going to have Extinct handling the Visage. His win rate is around 88% on Visage. Can you believe that value? 88% win rate on Visage, so I think we might see RisingStars perhaps getting knocked out of the tournament as they are down 1 game in this best of 3 series. Of course, Sand King, one of Net's best hero as well, so I really like Orange Esports draft so far.
RisingStars taking very long time on their bans. They're almost running out of reserve time.
Oh, on the 4th pick. Not exactly sure where you go from here. I still think that you want to secure your second support.
Yeah.
Maybe they're thinking about the offlane, though.
Nyx Assassin is decent. I like Jakiro more just because I think he has more reliable AoE. But Nyx Assassin, not a bad pick by any means.
Yeah, it's okay. It doesn't feel like a strong pick in a sense, right? It's like it doesn't counter anything. It doesn't.
Yeah, they don't have any.
Much.
Windrunner is not really that susceptible to Nyx Assassin ganks.
Yeah.
And there's no like Queen of Pain, Storm, Spirit. None of those heroes that are like easily killed and easily hurt by mana burn.
Yeah, if Weaver ever gets enough HP to survive your combo, then you're pretty much a useless hero against him as well. So I really wonder what this Nyx Assassin pick is. It going to be a solo mid Nyx Assassin? It makes me think, because if you get a quick Blink Dagger, that might turn things around a little bit. But I personally don't like this pickup.
I think he's going to have a problem versus Windrunner or versus Weaver. Windrunner doesn't really need mana to beat Nyx Assassin. He's not like a Queen of Pain where you have to rely on the Shadow Strike plus right clicks. Windrunner has a fantastic attack animation, pretty good base damage, and should be able to zone, maybe even zone out a Nyx Assassin in the middle lane. Weaver can fare pretty well too. Just bottle up the mana burn and just play super, super aggressively.
Yeah, I really have no idea how RisingStars is going to lane this, nor what they plan to do with those lanes. It doesn't feel like they could win any lane combination or situation. RisingStar most likely looking for one last off lane, and I wonder where that will be. We saw things like Queen of Pain in the jungle. Lifestealer actually does jungle sometimes for RisingStar as well, so can't discount that possibility.
I would like to see like a bounty hunter from them, just because Orange Esports doesn't have the best 5-man lineup, and even if they try a 5-man with a gem to counter bounty hunter, they're not always going to come out ahead in team fights. It's not like a Magnus that you have to always worry about, or some Chen, for example, is pretty good at just pushing early. They don't have to really worry about that. As a bounty hunter, it's pretty good versus Weaver, pretty good versus Sand King, and just works kind of well with the somewhat aggressive nature of their lineup.
It's okay. I was thinking of maybe something that allows your lifestealer to jump in, like a Puck or a Queen of Pain. Something that gives them a little bit more mobility in a team fight, or just during out the ganks. I feel like they just lack Disable, and it's worth saying that because you have Impale, you have Lift, you have Lifestealer, and Alchemist. You pseudo disables on both of those heroes, but it just doesn't feel like it's enough against Weaver, Windrunner, and Sand King. These heroes have high natural survivability thanks to their spells. So not really happy with RisingStars draft. And let's see how they recover with this very last pick they have.
Yeah, I think if RisingStars picks a traditional solo mid now, though, like Queen of Pain, then their just lanes are going to be boned. Lifestealer going to be forced to jungle, and even if they
can go offensive try, I guess.
If they safely in triple lane, though, I think it's probably going to lose to Orange's triple lane.
Yeah, Orange is going to offensive for sure here with Visage, Windrunner, and Sand King. And the cool thing about this triple lane is that if the lane doesn't go well, Visage and Sand King could just rotate off, and Windrunner should be okay. And if it does go well, Visage and Sand King is going to gang mid a ton, and Windrunner is definitely going to be okay there. So Orange just have way too much flexibility on the laning, and they're going to go into Morphling. This could be your solo mid Morphling. This could be your safe lane farm morph. It could be even offensive trialing morph. I imagine it's going to be a pull morph going on the mid lane with morph taking a level 1, and then just out damaging them. You were saying they need to pick up
Bounty
a
hunter.
bounty hunter.
There
They
it
do pick
is.
up the bounty hunter, but I'm not sure whether they're going to be trading kills because Orange Esports has so much nuking power right now. It is scary.
Yeah, Morphling is a pretty strong hero, but I don't know. I'm not completely sold on the idea of Morphling. I've seen him dominate a couple times, but pretty much most heroes with the amount of farm that Morphlings usually get can dominate. He's pretty good with EB, especially versus Lifestealer, almost all physical damage, and the potential to shotgun any of these heroes is pretty
I mean,
big.
you're talking about all of these mid to late game item choices. I'm just talking straight about laning. Like, who's going to beat Morphling in the lane? Air's not going to do it. Shao Tuju's not going to do it. I mean, your best bet is actually Nyx Assassin in the mid lane, but Super is your support player. So I think Morphling's going to eat up the mid lane so easily with a Morph
Yeah, I think so too.
and Wraith Band. And it doesn't matter how his mid game or late game, you don't think it's as strong as before, which I agree with that, but it just doesn't matter. He's going to just lane dominate.
Well, I think they do need to shut him down, but they also have to worry about the Weaver. Weaver is not that not as big of a concern as Morphling, just because I think he's more susceptible to the Bounty Hunter as well as a Nyx Assassin. The Rising Stars have a lot of potential for just good gank potential too. If they have a Life Stealer Bomb inside a Nyx, Life Stealer Bomb inside a Bounty Hunter, Shadow Blade inside an Alchemist, they can just pair up heroes and try and pick off Orange if they decide to split push a lot, which that is usually the case when you have a Weaver as well as a Morphling. So introducing the side of Rising Stars, we have Super on the Nyx Assassin. Looks like he will be supporting on the bottom lane. We have Air on the Life Stealer. We have XTT on the Bounty Hunter starting off bottom, scouting out things for a little bit. We have XDD on the Rubik, and on mid we have Xiao Tuji, the Alchemist.
Yeah, Xiao Tuji, generally the one-role player, now will be rotating off to the mid lane. He's going to be playing against Mushi, who already is morphing away, got a ton of stats, got a ton of regen, and I think Xiao Tuji is going to have a very tough time. ky.xy is going to be up top here, handling the Weaver, and it's going to be the offensive trialing as expected coming out from Orange Esports Ohio on his trusted Windrunner. If there's one guy from Southern East Asia that says, you play the Windrunner, it's Ohio. His Windrunner is just absolutely legendary. Meanwhile, we do have Net playing the Sand King, and Extinct playing Divisage. I think this offensive tri-lane is probably the dream lineup that Orange, if they could get their hands on every single draft, they'll get this draft because it's just absolutely amazing of how much they could do with this kind of three heroes.
Well, we already see two pretty defensive wards out from Rising Stars, one over here and one over here. So they really want to win this triple lane. If you devote this many wards early, you want to win it. And they don't actually have any sentries to block the spawn, but they should have full vision in case Orange does decide to contest this pool. So let's see who has the wards on the side of Orange. Looks like Net placed one already, and let's check out the support wars.
Yeah, I'm not exactly looking at support wars. I am looking at the fact that Nyx Assassin as well as Rubik, they haven't actually spent any of their gold pulling their off lanes or either in solo mid, so they're very confident Xiao Tuji being able to take on Mushi 1v1. I think if XTD gets pulled, like a poor man shield, and of course if he selects Janata as his burst spell, I think you actually come off ahead against a Weaver, and that just shows you how afraid they are of this offensive tri-lane. If they pull, obviously the support's going to have a lot less regen, they're going to be having a lot less ability to fight ward wars. So, no pulling going on, which is something that you don't see too much these days. These days is all about pulling off lanes or solo mid positions.
And Mushi got pulled, I guess not too much regen in the middle, but at least one set. He is just even on CS. It's a little bit too early to call who is going to win the mid lane. I think that if he just goes acid spray build and just spams every wave with a bottle, then they'll probably just come out fairly even in terms of last hits. But it depends on how low Mushi wants to go on the agility train.
Yeah, he is actually taking a ton of damage from the acid spray. Got to be very careful about that courier. You don't want to bait around with that one. That will be a previous courier bait if it dies. And there you go, Xiao Tuji picks up the bottle. Might be actually just straight up bottle crow. But Mushi, you can see that thanks to the acid spray, is getting pushed under his tower. He's not going to miss too many CS as a result because he has really high damage. But what he's going to do is suffer a little bit of damage from these creeps.
One thing going well for Orange in their triple lane is that they have two full range heroes, and on the side of Rising Stars, we only have the Rubik. So Air not able to get that much farm. He's still 5-1, but under constant pressure by Ohio and Extinct, just right-clicking away every time he comes up the creeps.
Yeah, I'm actually fairly impressed with Rising Star doing okay on all three of these lanes. I expected Xiao Tuji to lose the mid lane fairly badly. I expected XTT to have a pretty poor lane up top because he doesn't have poor mana shield. But all things considered, they're doing okay, and even Air is getting some decent farm on the bot lane here. In fact, he's out farming the Windrunner. Called it a 3-lane victory for Rising Star. I'm very impressed with their early game.
Yeah, and mid lane, Mushi, How is he gonna just farm all game, or is he gonna actually fight once he gets one, maybe two big items?
I think he is gonna farm all game, right? Generally, when he plays things like, oh, Courier's gonna deliver a bottle. Generally, when he plays that solo mid situation, he doesn't actually show up to much later. Like last game with that Razor, he just got Buckler, Bracer, just got a ton of early game item, but he mostly sat on the mid lane. In fact, it was a fight that rotated towards Mushi, and he got a couple kills in his own lane. Generally, Mushi, aside from playing heroes like Queen of Pain or Puck, he doesn't gank too much. So I imagine Mushi's gonna stay mostly in the lane. If you leave the lane against Mushi, he will push your tower. If you don't leave the lane, then he'll just farm. So that's my guess. I think he's going to just farm all day.
I've already bottle crowing a little bit, trying to negate some of the harass from Xiao Tuji's constant acid spray spam. No greed from Xiao Tuji, just going the very standard max acid spray and max unstable concoction in the solo mid alchemist role.
Yeah, it looks like there was a slight go here against Air. Open Wound was used against Net, but they don't get the kill. I actually am not a big fan of XCT's skill build here. He's actually level up Shuriken Toss. Leveling up Shuriken Toss does give you a little bit of better damage output, but I feel like this is a lineup that you want to actually level up Janata. Harass the Weaver a little bit. You're not going to get the kill, but make his life a little bit more difficult. By leveling up Shuriken, it makes me think that he's going to start rotating off the lane once he gets level 6, maybe even onto the bot lane and try to win that lane there. But we'll see if that's the case.
Yep, there looks to be some contest around the top rune. Mushi will... That could have been very, very dangerous for Mushi.
Yeah.
If Xiao Tuji had picked up a haste rune in his bottle, I think that he potentially could have gone on Mushi because Mushi doesn't have any mana for another waveform out.
Yeah. Well, instead, no harm, no foul. The rune was, I think, killed on the bot lane here. Xiao Tuji is bottling it up. Once he gets level 6, he should be absolutely fine. XCT, though, is having a somewhat a tough time on the top lane. 26-4 to 12-1. That lane just only got quite a bit of I thought he was okay there, but unfortunately, I guess not.
Yeah, the big thing is that Bounty Hunter is still getting a lot of levels, though. He's 5.5 even after the fair amount of denies from ky.xy.
Burrow Strike gonna go on bot lane. Shackle Shot's gonna latch as well. Air is gonna, oh, nice dodge here. Dodge out Soul Assumption, just spamming it away. Does have to recharge it on the Magic Wand. Oh, Gus gonna salve up very close, and is he gonna dodge a Power Shot? There's no Power Shot dodge, but here comes XCD and Power Shot. It's actually gonna get him off. Air making a slight mistake. XCD not gonna have level 6 just yet. He does have Shuriken Toss. That's 2 kill. XCD going for the body block. Beautiful play right now, and XCD should have one more kill. Janata for the kill? No, just a Shadow Walk. Shadow Walk does give you extra damage. What a TP from XCT. That's a TP for 3 kills. None of them track kill just yet, but hey, you'll take what you get.
Yeah, nice reaction by XCT. We usually do not see a Bounty Hunter rotate this early, especially without track, but in the meantime, he is giving ky.xy a lot of farm on the top lane. 36-9, able to start pressuring the first T1 of the game.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Lifestealer, I thought he was absolutely fine. The Power Shot just clipped him, and he definitely was not expecting that. Now, Windrunner is going to pick up a Phase Boot, so she's going to be completely fine for most ganks. The RisingStars support is now rotating mid, probably trying to set up a gank against a Windrunner, or not Windrunner, a Morphling. But you gotta have to bait Mushi to use that waveform first, though, because I don't think he's gonna die without using the waveform.
Yeah, unless he just takes a lot of harass from the acid spray, which he kind of can't help but avoid just because Morphling's range is so disastrously low. But Net picks up the regeneration rune. A little bit unlucky for Mushi. He's been sitting on the top rune twice in a row, not able to find anything.
At least he's going to his teammates, so it can't be too bad. Now we do see the rotation back up on top by XTT. We'll now have a level 6, but again, still losing the lane very handily. You have Weaver as your lead farmer. Weaver's one of those heroes that, depending on what build you go for, he can be an early game threat. If you pick up that Ring of Aquila, even Phase Boot and Armlet, Medallion, you could do quite a bit of work, but I don't see ky.xy doing that. I think he's going to go for more of the slower Lincoln Sphere, Yasha, that kind of build that allows him to be more of a late game force.
Yeah, but they have a ton of single target spells on the side of RisingStars. Almost all their heroes have a way to pop that Lincoln Sphere. He may need like a early BKB at first, this sort of lineup.
Sure, that's not a bad choice. We do see a ton of players going for those options as well. Xiao Tuji in the mid lane now having a little bit of trouble as Mushi is leading in terms of the CS. So as the experience pile on a little bit more and more, Orange Esports, their carries on the top and mid lane is now starting to take over, and this bot tri lane starting to kind of rain the harass against Era as well. You can see that Windrunner's being able to play up so far up because he's just not afraid. In between Windrunner as well as FaZe, he's absolutely fine. He hasn't even skilled a Windrunner just yet. Just saving that skill point. Are we going to see some Burrow Strike initiation? Nothing just yet.
Yep, I think pretty soon. Top 3 farmers are all in favor of Orange. Even though they give up first blood, they have 51 last hits on the Weaver, 41 on the Morphling, and 37. Next highest is only the Alchemist with 27. So this won't be a super stacked Alchemist like we saw last game. And still, no points in Greedwell's Greed yet. Just going for 3-3-1. Mushi is doing very, very well after coming out about even in the first 1 or 2 minutes of the laning phase.
Yeah, now the onus is on Rising Star, right? They're the team that has to make the rotation. There's the team that have to set up something, because if things go on like this, oh my goodness, we're going to see a waveform, and XTD is probably dead for sure. A couple more right clicks, going to try to toss him back. No toss back just yet. Nice impale, unfortunately does not hit Mushi on the wave, and salve up here for XTD. Nice body blocking, but super in big trouble as well. A second Burrow Strike going to seal the deal, and there's no rotation coming up. There is a rotation going up top, though. They want ky.xy. Can he actually Sakuchi away? That's the question. The stun comes through, and the Shuriken toss should actually make sure they get the kill. They do get that one, and that's a direct kill. So good rotation coming out from both the solo mids, and securing kill for the teammates.
Man, the one time Mushi does not go top lane, the rune spawn's there, gives it to Alchemist, and pretty much a free crack gold kill for them. So a lot of Weaver's early game potential will be mitigated by that gank. That just puts things... It just makes things very, very difficult for him, and he doesn't actually have that many items. I thought he'd be a little bit more farm, considering his rather fantastic start.
Yeah, and now your bounty hunter who didn't have the best early game is 2-0-2, thanks to kind of ganks onto the bot lane and ganks into his lane. It looks like he is making a teleport. There is no Sench Ward up just yet. Checking out the support, they are not ready for this particular game. XTD playing very aggressive. They are pinging him out. I do believe because XTD plays so aggressive, the Dharm might be aware that the gank is coming their way. XTD going out forward. His invisibility is running out. They're tracking at net. They toss him back. Does he have Burrow Strike? That's the question. Of course, Shuriken toss and does not destroy the last attack from the right click. Extinct in a little bit of trouble as well. Shackle Shot is going to hit on XTD. XTD is going to melt. Extinct is still on the run right now. Track goes up, and Track is going to give him so much gold. Eric got to be very careful if he's going to die. Burrow Strike is going to hit right on Ohio as well. Courier is going to just run back in time. Ohio now going back and forth, thinking about some more kills, but look at the rotation coming out from XCT. Just an efficient play. 2-0-2 before the rotation, now 3-0-3, and level 8 despite getting lasted on the top lane.
RisingStars, I think, is playing very well there of exploiting the fact that Orange just loves to farm on some of their heroes. And ky.xy just been sitting in the top lane, farming away. Mushi just been sitting in the mid lane, farming away. That leaves the 3 heroes on bottom, especially without sentries, just fully exposed to these mass track kills.
Tower's going to get denied here. ky.xy in big trouble. He's going to try to time-lapse. He does get the time-lapse off. He is so lucky that that Xiao did not channel the stun as he was TPing. If he did, would have got that kill for sure. Meanwhile, Mushi's going to find himself finally a rune. He's going to get tracked up, though, on the way back. XCT, again, playing quite efficient. Early game, going with the phase boot. Personally, one of my favorite build on Bounty Hunter is going phase of Vlads and then back into BKB. Just nothing but utility for a team. Just start ganking all over the map. Thinking about setting up a kill on the mid lane, though. He needs Shuriken toss.
Yeah, looking at the difference in gold.
They do lift him up, and they are going to have Manish for Shuriken. Pop your magic wand, my friend, and the Chain Stun is going to come through. Mushi is string morphing, but the Chain Stun is not going to be there. 2-man Burrow Strike not going to be enough here. And net in big trouble as well. Do they have more track? That's the question. Stolen Burrow Strike. Burrow Strike's going to miss right now. Nice dodge on the net. And double buyback coming out from Morphling. And now the chase goes the other way. But the buyback's not going to secure too much as everybody is back out on the side of Rising Star. Orange is losing yet more and more gold.
Yeah, nice try by Morphling to try and morph, but just a little bit too much damage from RisingStars. I thought that Sand King actually had saved him. Maybe he could have used the illusion runes to scout for a little bit, but you can't always predict those sort of ganks coming in.
Yeah, meanwhile, Lifesteal gets a solo kill against Extinct on the bot lane. So yeah, RisingStar taking a control of this early game, and that's probably one of the worst things that you can ask for, because you're 8-3 against a Bounty Hunter who's involved in 7 of the kills. That is just absolutely scary to think about. And now he's already on the bot lane. There is a Sentry Ward available, but open wounds into track should be more than enough. Where's the open wounds? Oh, only 200 cast range, lol.
Well, even with that though, RisingStars is still behind in terms of gold. They're around 1,500 gold behind, even though they're up 5 kills, some of them track kills, and Orange has 1 more tower, which accounts for most of it, but still, I'm surprised that Orange has been finding this amount of farm.
Yeah, I mean, they're just lasting a lot better in lane. Again, the Weaver outlasting the Bounty Hunter, Xiao Juji getting outlasted by Mushi, Morphling. So it makes sense that Orange will still be able to maintain their early game goalie, but that can't last too long, because Rising Star support hero is getting a more experience, because they're definitely getting more hero kills. Thinking about setting up kill on the mid lane, you talked about staying on the right side if you don't know where the enemy support is. Although maybe not so maybe it doesn't apply to this particular game. XDD's on the run right now. He runs back up, Burrow strikes back in, but here comes ky.xy. I think XDD, oh, nice lift here on the low ground here. They want to kill an Extinct. I think they will kill an Extinct. Extinct low before he dies. Gonna drop one hit. Nice Burrow strike. That's gonna be hitting onto 2. Wait for him in. That's gonna get dodged here by Super. Well played, and unfortunately, Bounty Hunter gave all a pretty big streak as he dies. Xiao Juju runs up a cliff and decides to drive everybody away. Losing your Bounty Hunter there and unable to track up more people before he died is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I think that they should try and focus down this Bounty Hunter as soon as possible. For some reason, they do not have sentries. They took that engagement without one, but I would like to see maybe an early gem from them. They don't have the best 5-man lineup, but they have to be constantly scared of Nyx plus Lifestealer plus Bounty Hunter.
That Nyx is on the bot lane thinking about using a couple open wounds. We're going to see yet another teleportation. They're thinking about making it go to Ohio, playing somewhat aggressively. And let's see if they're going to find that angle. If Ohio ever gets lifted, he's pretty much dead. XCD now running back in, but you're not going to do it against FaZe. What a pause from Mushi. And I think that was spell being stolen, I believe. Well, apparently his computer dropped. That's what Mushi's trying to say. So a little bit of technical difficulty coming out from Orange Esports.
Man, Alchemist is super underfarmed. I think he probably should have had mech around now. I think he has 2 of his components coming on the chicken right now. But
what's coming from the chicken?
2 of his mech components.
Oh, from our Alchemist?
Yep. I think most Alchemists can finish a mech by this time, especially in the solo mid roll. Sometimes we see them get zoned out a little bit in off lane or just like denied pulls, but in the mid lane versus a Morphling, I think he probably could have had it by now. I
mean, that should be expected, right? Mushi just has way more damage, has a very clean animation. Sure, the early game acid spray was pretty annoying, but once Bottle Crow got online, it was hard for him to keep up. Weaver up top, let's see what he's going for. You're expecting the BKB. We do get the BKB, and so kind of your mid-game superiority lineup. Very reminiscent of, well, not reminiscent, but very standard. This is your Orange lineup. Just go for mid-game victories. And their item will suggest so.
And I didn't actually see anyone drop from the game. I'm not sure who exactly is having computer issues. Well.
Uh-oh, the lights are being turned on again.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh, sorry.
So what do you think about this game thus far? Do you think that Orange can come back in this mid game even versus a Bounty Hunter?
I think Bounty Hunter, it was really scary when he was involved in like 7 out of the 9 kills early on, but a couple of those kills were not tracked. He finally dies a couple of times, and I think Orange is starting to really out-farm the enemy. The supports are getting decent level on the side of Orange, so unless they get a couple more track kills, I think Orange is going to be kind of stopping the bleeding, and they will be able to come back in this game. But
Alright, well, we have unpause, and Lifestealer has resumed the game.
Yeah, all you gotta do is just be aware that there's a Bounty Hunter off the map. I mean, if he's not getting successful track kills, he's actually not really doing much out of here.
He's 3-1 at 5 though.
Well, a lot of it was before the track kill came online. Yeah, I'm not gonna say he's playing poorly, but I think you could actually stop a Bounty Hunter from kind of going crazy if you prevent those track kills from successfully being used against you.
I think that hero's still a little bit ridiculous. Sure, he got nerfed with the armor, but he's still very, very strong.
Oh, XCT, gonna get the bottle of the invisibility root. I would have just Janata hit and be like, yo, bro. Come on, man. Think about that.
Yo, bro.
But yeah, I think Alchemist needs to farm his mech, and once they do have the mech, look towards RisingStars to play a little bit more aggressively because, again, they're getting out farm, and what they need to do is either get a couple team fights successfully going their way, and Track's going to be very helpful in terms of earning some gold back, or they just should start looking for more tower pushes.
You see a smoke on top lane?
And, well, it's going to be a hard one to get kills against, especially when you don't have Track, and, well, ky.xy already sends it coming. So RisingStars, in game number 1, they had a lot of successful smoke gank early on. Really can't find a similar style and similar rhythm in this game. These smoke ganks are not really effective here.
And Orange, although they have like decent map control right now and are ahead on farming, there's like almost no way they can do Roshan this early unless RisingStars is just completely caught out of hand. They don't really have any good heroes for doing Roshan. Windrunner is okay. Mushi, if he can replicate a very tanky hero, is also okay, but other than that, they don't really have the damage. They don't really have the heals, the sustainability to do it. But usually that is what you want to do when you're playing this sort of passive early mid game.
Yeah, I don't think Orange cares about taking Roshan. RisingStar definitely will want to have it as we do see a track out. I mean, Orange says we will just outfarm you once we hit into the mid game. Their hero is absolutely difficult to gank up. We do see a waveform being used right now. Clever creep. I mean, how do you actually gank a Morphling? How do you actually gank against a Weaver? And how do you gank a Windrunner, right? You can get those ganks off. We saw the 4-man gank against Mushi on the mid lane, but he was able to survive for such a long time. And this is definitely another mid-game build as we see Mushi going for a BKB Morphling. None of that shotgun, none of that link insert. Just want damage, the ability to teamfight early and often. And Weaver with BKB, Morphling with BKB. Once they get both of them up, look towards them, start to take Roshan fights. Look towards them to start pushing tier 1s and tier 2s.
Yeah, and Weaver and Morphling just farming away. Those are the two most important heroes on the side of Orange, and they have not died, I think, multiple times on any of those heroes.
Oh, Ned's going to Burrow Strike, trying to take the haste ring. He does actually take it, and now the fight could actually go the other way if they make the chase. They don't. They back off. But yeah, I mean, RisingStar looking for some key items. Orange looking for those key BKB. And I think the supports on Orange, we've been talking about a lot about them in the previous game, is that they don't mind the game going slower. Sure, you have to fork out a couple of gold for your sentries and dust, but at the same time, they're not really dying too much. Oh, looks like we're going to see a waveform to lift. That's a 4-man gank. They are going to get a kill on Ohio. Where's the track? That 4-man gank's going to worth a lot of go if they get those track kills off. Unfortunately, the Familiars not really being able to help out. Meanwhile, as this 4-man gank's going on, Weaver says, all right, man, let's get some push going on top.
And I think Mushi will also be trying to push bottom in the process. Is there a glyph up on Orange? Yes, there is. The tower's about 800 HP, but they're going to chop at it fast.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, I think tier 2 might go down on the top lane, and tier 1 might go down on the mid lane before that tier 2, or tier 1 go down on the bot for the Dire. Working on it, still working on it. Now glyph goes up. Tier 1 tower in the mid lane in trouble. Tier 2 up top in trouble, down to about half. In fact, are they going to get the tower? They do. But it's a very, very expensive tower as they lost a ton of damage on these towers.
Middle tower is under attack.
Well, and we see a TP reaction from the side of Orange right now, but still very, very passive game. RisingStars, they kind of want to keep up the pressure on these guys, but they have Alchemist. They have the Grievous Greed now on him. They are relatively content to play the passive farm game. Meanwhile, on the side of Orange, they have Morphling, so they need more items up on them, whether it be a BKB rush, or what it looks like Mushi is going to do right now, Lincolns, a Mantis style. All of these are pretty good, but he just needs a ton of farm.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting that farm, though. He's got a 94 CS in 17 minutes, which is not too bad. Anytime you hit over 100 CS before the 20-minute mark, you're doing pretty good, especially on the mid lane where there's, you miss a couple more CS because of the hill. You miss more CS because you have to check runes and you get ganked. So I think Mushi is doing a fine job. In fact, he's also done a ton of tower damage to that tier 1 mid. So Mushi playing fantastically as per usual. Weaver up top. I also believe, we haven't really talked about too much as we see Mushi making a replicate of his ally, and then the entire team smokes up for a big dive on the mid perhaps. One thing that we haven't talked about too much is that Xiao plays a solo mid Alchemist instead of the 1-row Alchemist. If you play the 1-row Alchemist, you're likely to get items like Assault, or sometimes even Blats, a little bit more aura-based items, and that makes the replicate from a Morphling a lot more effective. Instead, if you're playing more of a solo mid Alchemist,
They're coming from behind.
well, they're going to try to get that Burrow Strike off against XCD. Shackle Shot's going to hit on Xiao Tuji. 2-man Burrow Strike. One is dead, and now Lens channels his ultimate. Going on Xiao Tuji. Xiao Tuji is not going to survive that. Does have Magic Stick. Did not pop it. 2 easy kills. And where was Bounty Hunter throughout all of that? He was nowhere close.
Yeah, I'm not. He has a Nyx bomb inside of him.
I don't think he could 2v5 against all of this.
Looks like he's looking for something. Do they have any sentry wards? Wow, this is ballsy.
Yeah, they're pushing against the Bounty Hunter. They do actually blind us, although Bounty Hunter. That was close. That was close. Still thinking of doing a little bit of chase this year, but I think the juke's up. 2 towers have gone down in the favor of Orange Esport. And the Gold Graph now going very much so in the favor of Die. Looks like he's going to make that kill. There's no track just yet. Burrow Strike forward. There is going to be a track finally. In fact, they're going to try to make that kill attempt. Where did that Shuriken toss go?
I have no clue. But, I mean, they wasted a lot of time there. Bounty Hunter was headed top. He ran all the way mid with a Life Stealer inside of him. And then he went mid, tried to go on one hero, couldn't even get it. Ton of farm wasted on the side of RisingStars.
Yeah, and now they're going to try to get a smoking up top, but Weaver's already out of there. So, yeah, I think RisingStars really falling behind. We talked about that Bounty Hunter it's a very scary hero if you get those track kills off, but they haven't actually got any track kills off because Orange is just rotating a lot better. And when you don't get track kills off as a bounty, glorify melee creep doesn't actually do much.
Gives you move speed, man.
Give you move speed and nothing much.
Well, Orange has been doing a fantastic job of holding on to their towers, though. They still have 5 towers up. That is pretty impressive considering the amount of pressure that RisingStars has been attempting to put out in this early game.
Yeah, but I mean, the more pressure they put out, the more of they're failing because these ganks are just not working out. And when you have Bounty Hunter, he actually doesn't help you push that much. He's up to 1900 gold. I wonder if he's going to be going back to that Vlad or if he's working towards a BKB. If he's going for a BKB, he would have had the Ogre Club picked up
Here's
now.
Roshan.
Yeah, they actually can do Roshan now with the Medallion Courage being picked up on Visage. And I just don't think there is a proper response coming out from RisingStar. They actually just can't walk into the Roshan pit. And instead, they're going to try to go get a tier 1, but that tier 1 means so little strategically, so it doesn't even matter if they get that tier 1.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to creep to pull a little bit, and it just makes it a little bit difficult for the opponents to take over their own jungle. And it looks like they are sweeping it right now, RisingStars. But Weaver has the Aegis of the Mortal. Let's check his BKB status. It's been up for a bit, stinking not even close to Blink Dagger at all. And Morphling has his BKB complete. So if RisingStars just chooses to go up here, they can just surprise them with their BKBs, overwhelm them with the Aegis, and potentially take even more. So I fully expect RisingStars to back off if it comes back uncontested.
They do have mech on cooldown though. They were forced to use it during the team fight, and it will be down for like 5 more seconds. So Orange maybe it's gonna wait a little bit. Although they did give up the information that they do have BKB, so RisingStar smartly backs off and decides to farm. I think if you're RisingStar right now, you just farm. Just say, hey, Alchemist, Lifestealer, let's do coil up.
Unless there's like super easy kills around the map.
Right. They saw Mushi on the bot lane, and you can see that XCD does have Sakuchi. That's probably one of the best spells that you can steal in a game like this. But yeah, RisingStar should just look towards the farm up. Just give up the smoke ganks. I don't think smoke ganks is going to be effective. But if you look at Mushi on his farm, man, BKB is already up. I think the next item of choice is going to be Yasha into Mantisao. Just kind of all late game carry. Also start looking towards Orange to push a little bit more aggressively. It doesn't make sense if you get BKB and decide to farm with it, because you could farm Yashas and then farm much quicker. Meanwhile, back on top lane, they're going to try to kill on ky.xy. They do get the kill on the Aegis, and they know that that's all they can get, so they back off. Not a bad way to start this kind of nightfall in the mid game.
Yeah, not even a bad trade for them. Orange is still playing very passively. We haven't seen much of Mushi right now, but he's 2-1-1. He only has 1,200 gold after going to BKB treads.
Who does have 200 gold on BKB?
200 gold? What?
Somebody says have 200 gold on BKB treads.
You
You said somebody has 200 gold after
Morphling?
going.
Morphling, 1,200 gold?
Oh, 1,200 gold. Sorry, I misheard you. I was like,
Yep, there's a smoke from Orange, and the only one that is not smoked is Mushi and his replica. So all they have is like a regular Weaver going in. This could be pretty dangerous for them. I think they should probably have sentries at this point.
XCD, a little bit of trouble. Let's see if the blind Burrow Strike is good. You have cooldown on the Sakuchi. Nice dodge here on the Burrow Strike as well. He's going to get Shackle, but not a Hackle, though. He's going to go down star regardless. A ton of nuke coming after him. Look at the chasing power of Orange Esports, especially with the nuke. ky.xy is going to Sakuchi pass. He does have time lapse, so not exactly too afraid of it. And Orange already getting ready to set up shop on this tower. I think it's time for you guys to abandon RisingStar. There's no way they hold that tier 1 tower.
Yeah, their main anti-pusher is down with the Fade Bolt. They dropped the Acid Spray, but just not enough to hold this tower.
Yeah, and they will back off. In fact, you see that Teal in the mid lane trying to bring down a tier 1 as a result. Not going to do it, though, because good TP from Mushi. They've lost a tier 1 up dot on the ball lane. And that's the big difference between Orange Esport and RisingStar. Whenever Orange Esport gets smoke, they get something out of it. They get a tier 1 tower. They get a gank on a key hero. Whenever RisingStar gets smoked, they're not doing anything. They're going to try to set up, oh, nice BKB usage. And now the fight might turn other way as here comes the entire rotation of the Orange Esports supports. The Sun going to go on Xiao Tuji. No Shackle shot just yet. The Swarm goes on top. Burrow Strike is going to Xiao Tuji as well. Shackle not going to latch, but just a mini stun. ky.xy popping his BKB now, chasing everybody. They want XCD. Oh, nice Lifestealer infest back. There is a Sakuchi being stolen here from XCD. Very, very good way to kind of stem the bleeding as RisingStar makes a very swift retreat, only losing the Alchemist. And it's only a solo mid Alchemist. In fact, they're thinking about going back and trying to set up shop. Really don't think this is a good idea from XCD.
He has the Shikuchi though, but that does not make you invulnerable.
It does not. You do not have time lapse either. XCD. Shackle shot not going to fly through and hit from Ohio. Now, Orange Esports just, again, a lot more efficient with their ganks, a lot more efficient with their rotations. And RisingStar, when they make 3 or 4 smoke ganks, that doesn't work. They're not farming at all, and they need a farm.
Windrunner has a gem finally. I think they can probably Just get a little bit more map control like that. I'm trying to see if the Rising Stars has any more observer wards on the map. Doesn't look like they have anything up. It must be very scary.
Yeah, let's quickly check out how we're doing in terms of the map vision, right? If you look at direct map vision, they see everywhere, and that's pretty much one of the most important things that you can do as a bounty hunter. Bounty hunter has a blast, so that means he could jungle away. So kind of any type of free vision you get, kind of seeing him, popping out the mid or popping out of jungle is pretty important. Conversely, if you look at Radiant Vision, they have a ward up top. That's it. They have no idea where the orange supports are, no idea if there's smoke, if they're sacking or pulling. And that means you could only really farm with heroes like Lifestealer. XCD jumping forward, thinking about telekinesis lift, but little do they know, right? Orange has a full barrage of hero backing Woodrunner up on the mid.
That bait. Too bad there's no blink on the Sand King.
Yeah. Although Xiaotuji and Air has been pretty good at using their Rage BKB last game in terms of dodging any kind of blink burrow strikes, so I imagine they're completely ready in this game as well.
Yeah, Net's 1,300 gold away from it, but 26 minutes in, I think he'd be a little bit more farmed, but he's been forced to stick with the rest of the team for most of the game. Morphling trying to split push up top, thinks twice about it, and goes back to the jungle. Looks like he'll probably go for a Manta style after his completed BKB.
Oh, Super's on the run here. Let's see Vendetta being forced to use out to gain a little bit of movement speed. Trying to rotation in mid lane to destroy that tier 1 Lucio already here. This is something that's very common for Orange Esports. They actually, it's somewhat defensive in their item choices. They go for things like BKB first. They don't use it to fight too much. They just mostly make sure that they could hold on to the early game tower and then farm a little bit more because of having survivable heroes. Normally you say, hey man, if you're going to just want to farm, why don't you just go Yasha first? Because it's a faster farming item. But because of you having BKB, they could keep up their early game towers and then farm with their lead. Why the hell is my mini-map drawing is like going crazy?
I have no idea. I'm actually not really sure why they don't have what? Oh, I'm also really not sure do they have a mech on. Oh, I don't even know what's going on here. Anyways.
I'm fine. No, he's not fine.
I'm not fine.
Can you not confuse the both of us? I know you
well,
can't
Rising
tell.
Stars, I think it was like 9-5 for them, maybe 10 minutes ago, but they've only been able to pick up 1 kill in like the last 10 minutes. Orange has been doing a pretty good job of splitting up around the map, putting the pressure on Rising Stars, and taking down this vision. This early Gem Runner Windrunner is actually hurting them a lot. They have 2 Invis heroes. Looks like Alchemist is not going to go for a Shadow Blade. He has the BKB almost complete, just about 40 more gold. Looks like he will have it after one last hit. We see the Lifestealer hop inside the Bounty Hunter. I talked about the Lifestealer bombs earlier in the game, but it hasn't seemed like they've used it effectively at all.
Yeah, I mean, they're making these rotations, but Orange Esports completely ready for it with multiple BKBs. The fact that they're grouping up with the vision being denied away from the Radiant side. So I really think that XCD and the rest of the rest of Rising Stars should give up this mid game, right? Just say, hey, we're losing the farm already. Our gank's just not working out. We have tracks, but we're not getting any track kill. Just give it up. Just farm. You have Vlad's on your Bounty Hunter. He can farm the jungle. Air can farm in the lane. And of course, you go Grievous Greed and farm away with Alchemist. But they're not doing that. They're going for mid-game items. They have a BKB on Alchemist after a mech, so he's not going to have any late-game impact. Your Vlad's is not really doing anything if you're not farming because he's been looking for kills, which is not finding any kills. And finally, Air, I guess he's hitting creeps, he's getting Basher, but I don't think Air could solo carry. So all things considered, Rising Star to me is they are playing their lineup. They're going for more mid-game wins, but they're just not finding any kills. And when you're not finding kills, you got to make the transition and say, we got to have a plan B, and plan B should be farming. But they're not really farming.
I totally agree with you there. I would like to see this Ancient stacked a little bit more just so Alchemist can get those big items. I think he's a pretty slow item progression, 1, 2, and 3. He has Phase Boost, Mech, and BKB, but this is not the super stacked Alchemist that we see from a lot of the other teams. Windrunner, on the other hand, Phase Boots, 4-stab Mech, and again, this early gem. Rising Stars have been trying to put a lot of pressure out, but they don't have any vision out right now. They have the gem, and they've just been doing a very good job of protecting their jungle, protecting their heroes, and protecting this T1 tower in the middle. With this up, it's just really difficult for Rising Stars to move around the map.
Yeah, it looks like Rising Stars going to try to set up yet another gank and gank up top. They're going to see Weaver, but again, they just don't know where everybody else. You have to open up with Impale. If you open with Vendetta, ky.xy is going to get the hell out of there. But nothing.
And he has a Vit booster too.
Yeah.
He has 1500 HP. He's pretty difficult to kill.
They don't even make that gank. And again, 3-4 heroes up on the top lane, not
Dire's
doing anything.
middle tower
Shao-Tuji
is
is
under
farming
attack.
away though. Air is farming away, so I guess maybe they're saying, hey, we can't win this mid game, let's farm, and they are farming. So you can see that the gold graph still staying around 3,000 gold. It's not going to go anywhere. And unfortunately for Benwu, we might have ourselves a long game. This is only game 2 of a best of 3 series, so if Rising Star makes a comeback, we might go to a game 3.
So what do you actually farm for if you do decide to switch gears and farm it with this Alchemist? What damage item do you go next?
I don't think you go for BKB, right? So that's 4k gold that should have been in the bank already. I think AC's decent. I think Shiva's decent. I actually prefer Shiva's in this case over AC because if Replicate goes on you, that's a pretty threatening aura that they can steal. I like Basher. I like Heart. Just anything that allows you to stay on the front line and draw some focus off of the Lifestealer. So
And here's the smoke. Lifestealer is infected inside Shao-Tuji.
yeah, they want to. Well, it
Oh,
makes
they
sense.
have a Replicate Visage in front too.
It makes sense that if you're gonna go for all of these mid-game items on both teams, you know, every BKB possible, that you go for more of the mid-game victory, right? You take the Roshan. It looks like we're gonna see a long wraparound with the smoke. Let's see if it's gonna be successful. Roshan is dropping low quite quickly. They will not get there in time. Yeah, they will not get there in time as Roshan is dropping low unless they just go some next level. It's yeah, they are actually getting the Aegis. They have to win this team fight very, very big time here. They're going to focus on Ohio. He forced half himself back out. Double BKB is used, and Super in big trouble. Super is going to go invis. They mac up, and they're going to get 1 kill at least so far. No, he time-lapse. He's going to be completely fine. They don't get anything done. Shao-Tuji's BKB is running out quite quickly. Shackle shot. That's going to hit on
what a
2 hero.
shackle.
Ohio is just playing out of his mind. Super in big trouble as well. The sun's going to come through. Vendetta's out here, and Super is going to be on a run. He's going to self himself out and TP back out. He's going to be absolutely fine. But that team fight really is just not going well. They were just undecisive. They were going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And Roshan was
That hesitation really cost them.
yeah, and then they decided to wrap around. But by that time, the Roshan has taken way too much damage. And they focus on the Windrunner, fully realizing that she has Force Staff and she could have easily gone out in multiple directions. So Rising Star just making kind of mistakes after mistakes after mistakes.
Great BKB pops by Mushi though on the Morphling. We saw the first one on the T1 tower as the Impale was flying out, and he just popped it at the perfect time as Rising Stars was right about to engage on him with a Channeling Alchemist. Just pops it and just immediately tries to kill the Nyx assassin. And again, Ohio with these shackle shots, these hackle shots.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio, that's why I say he's probably one of the best Windrunner players in Southeast Asia. Rising Star, though, looks like they're not going to make a push. In fact, perhaps back in the mid lane, making a go here. They see XTD. XTD does force staff himself onto low ground. Does have Burrow Strike as well. No harm, no foul. Although Sanking did get back up.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yep. And looking at the XP and gold graph, Rising Stars has not been able to get an advantage at gold lead at any point during this game, even with Bounty Hunter. Still about 5,000 in favor of Orange. They've just been playing greedy, and Rising Stars has just been somewhat scared of playing aggressively. Granted, they have to versus the gem and versus the way that Orange has been playing, but they only have 11 kills in 33 minutes with a Bounty Hunter.
I mean, they got 9 of those kills in the first 15. They haven't found anything. XCD's gonna get a lift up, but he's gonna get shackled. Burrow Strike. Oh my God, that is a hackle. Not sure what angle that one is, but XCD's gonna go down. Try not helping out there at all. I think they have been playing aggressively, but they've been trying to walk around in a 2-man gang party with like XCD and the Lifestealer, and they just don't find any kills because Orange Esport they just hide well, they turtle well. At the same time, I think Rising Star needs to play aggressive as a 5-man. Just jam 5 hero down the mid lane and say, hey, we're going to take your tier 1. We're going to fight you over your tier 1. We have Acid Spray. We have BKB. We have Mech. Why not make those type of play? But I think it's too late to make those type of play right now with Aegis up on Orange, with the team fight being pretty decent now. As you can see, that Sanking going to hit level 10 and 11 very soon. And he's going to have a Blink Dagger. We saw how Orange was able to turn the game around with Blink Dagger last time. And they were losing then. I think Orange could just put the game out of reach once they have Blink Dagger back up on net.
Yeah, I mean, they're forced to, like, 3-man these neutrals now just because they're constantly scared of Orange's lineup.
Yeah, and, I mean, it should be the other way around, right? They should
It
be
should be the other way around.
They should be afraid of your Lifestealer Bomb. They should be afraid of your Bounty Hunter, but Bounty Hunter is farming away now. But they're just getting out farmed because I think Mushi with the Mansa now will farm a lot quicker. Weaver with Sukuchi is going to farm very quick as well. And the supports, Ohio, Net, Extinct, it's just farming the enemy jungle. So they're definitely cutting away farm from Rising Star as well. And this game, not looking good. Not looking good at all.
Mushi has been doing a very good job of split pushing and not dying. Again, pretty good BKB uses by him. We see another BKB from the Bounty Hunter. It looks like it's just going to be mass BKB wars.
Yeah, BKB's okay on XCD because he definitely needs the HP to stand in front line. You definitely need something against that Sanking, who is going to become an issue. And of course, there's a ton of nuke damage from Ohio, so I understand that one. It's a pretty good hero for him as well.
I think that Rubik is desperately trying to get Spell Steal so that he can go full strength, but not getting any luck with that.
Trying to get more. He already has Spell Steal.
Oh yeah.
Ben Wu's losing it. XCD though, he's gonna wait for him back out. They're gonna focus on Mushi. Mushi pops the BKB, but out of mana at this point here. And Xiao Chuji looking for a stun. He's gonna fly through against one of these illusions. Tier 1 tower, Tier 2 tower on the bot lane still okay. Extinct's gotta be careful here. If you track up Extinct, maybe you could actually go for a kill. They do track him up, and the entire team is on full retreat. Mushi already pieced out of there, and I think these guys are gonna die. So Mushi getting out of there and losing a Visage Bird as a result, not the worst loss.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Mushi still managed to survive, TPing out. I think maybe they could have tried to bait the Aegis potentially, but that will be going down in about a minute. I doubt that Orange will be able to take another fight while the Aegis is still up on Mushi.
I really think he just stayed in the front line because he had the Aegis and just kept right-clicking on something.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, I guess they don't want to take any risk. They're just willing to suffer one casualty in the Visage, even though he was track gold, and just continue on farming.
Yeah, and again, you're farming against a lineup that has decided to maybe we need to farm more and more. And Rising Star is getting some far back up. Xiao Juji working on Assault Curious. He's going to have it right about now. And let's see what Lifesteal has been working on. Lifesteal is working on not to dying on the ball lane. He's going to infest. Got to pop back out. Got to armlet toggle like a boss. He does get an armlet toggle. And now BKB on XCD trying to get the kill here. And let's see if Ares going to go right back in. XCD does have face boots up. He does not go for the kill. There is a gem on Ohio. And Ohio's looking for that shackle. That shackle not going to latch these birds. Trying to gain the position here for a stun. Not going to find that position. No harm, no foul, and Rising Star going to go back to farming here.
Yeah, I thought Sanking was going to follow up with a Blink Stun after using his Magic Stick, but not able to follow up with that. But again, they don't really need kills. They just need to get farm, secure more farm in the Morphling. He's sitting at a really healthy 1860 HP.
I mean, if you look at the net worth here from Mushi, I think he's actually started losing it. Oh, XCD's got to be very careful. Track goes up here against Mushi as well. XCD making that rotation. They're not going to get a kill with Mushi on it all. In fact, they're going to say, let's go for the tower instead. Mushi debuffs the track. There's a glyph being popped here. They want Super, though. And Super, he's detected right now. Ohio's not here. At least not yet. They are going to dust Super. Super needs to actually pop it and Impale and gain some a little bit of movement speed back. You actually do lose movement speed when you're dusted and invis. That's because of dust 10% flow.
Yeah. I mean, they haven't gotten any kills in like the last, I don't even know how long.
Nobody
Maybe,
has gotten
one
any
kill in
kill.
like 5 minutes. Yeah, and this is definitely playing in favor of Orange. And they don't really want to have the risk of just losing out on the mid game. If you fight mid game and you win even through like the track wars, you still have to deal with the late game track wars. And this way, they're like not running the risk. If they just lose a lot of kills in early skirmishes in the mid game, they'll just fall way too behind on the track kill, and the Rising Stars will just continue to play aggressively and won't be able to hold the gem on the side of Orange, won't be able to turtle, play defensively, and I wouldn't say they're turtling, but they're just out farming Rising Stars really heavily right now, punishing them for playing aggressively and not getting kills out of it.
I'm not sure if Orange is going to have the late game as secure as you suggested. I mean, Air, if you look at him, he's got to go for the Abyssal Blade, so that's going to nullify the double BKB from Weaver and the Morphling. That's going to allow you to have a very certain way to kill these guys. More importantly, Xiao Tuji has kind of gone back into full carry mode, been stacking this Ancient Camp every time I see him, and he's been kind of right-clicking creeps very hard as well. He's up to another 2,000 gold after finishing AC. If we look at the gold graph, it's going back towards 0. All of this suggests that Radiant is slightly coming back in terms of the farm war. So I wouldn't count out Rising Star just yet. They're doing a 5-man smoking on the bot. I don't think they'll find anybody. I think they need to smoke gank less and farm more, because every time they smoke gank, they start to lose back on the farm chart.
There is no Weaver there, though.
It's such an obvious smoke gank when the creep wave is going through the tower and nobody's defending it.
Yeah.
And Orange Esport will back out.
And there is the completed Abyssal Blade on the Lifestealer. I think that Mushi really needs an Ethereal Blade just so he can try and kite the Lifestealer, or even same as teammates if someone manages to get Abyssal.
Rising Star does not go for the tower deny, even though there's 3 heroes under there. Okay. That was awkward.
Free gold.
Free gold.
Free gold. Alchemist just spreading the love to everybody.
Again, Orange Esport is slowly getting out farm, and in terms of the late game implications, on one side you have Ohio, who is gonna hit very kind of game-breaking shackle shots. If he hits a shackle shot, it really to me doesn't matter how farm Rising Star is, unless they're like mega farm, all 6 slotted. Shackle shot lets him win team fights. He's gonna be going for a scythe, which is not gonna finish anytime soon. Weaver's got a ton of gold, but he's farming for items that actually doesn't do anything. Until now, he's gonna have AC or not AC, MKB. Once he does have the MKB finish, he's suddenly a threat that you can't ignore. And Morphling, he needs one more item to start to being a big threat, and I think that one item is gonna be a butterfly. So hopefully that he farms that up next.
And Orange sticking around the Roach Pit, and Rising Stars all trying to push mid, and they're just all trying to gather around the Roach Pit. It's only about less than a minute until he respawns, and this one is going to be pretty important, especially with considering how passive the games are going to, or passive the game has been going. You really want as many lives as possible for the one team fight engagement that, or multiple team fight engagements that are upcoming.
Yeah. And now Rising Star going back to defender lane. This is where you need to start split pushing. If you're Mushi or ky.xy, make sure you get the equilibrium on your advantage. Get the equilibrium here, for example, or like here, and then force the enemy to defend. And as they're defending, you have more than enough damage to take down Roshan. Though Mushi and ky.xy really can't make those split push. They're respecting the power of XCD's ganks, respecting power of Nyx Assassin ganks, and they haven't really been dying as a result. So you can't say they're playing poorly. They just can't really split push as freely as they want to.
So it looks like Morphling has gone for a butterfly instead.
I like a butterfly here.
Yeah, butterfly.
Do you think he needs heart?
I mean, I don't think heart is that good of a choice versus a life
Butterfly,
stealer.
right?
Yeah, butterfly is decent.
Butterfly always give you more than heart, I think.
I like EB on them too, just because they have mostly just physical damage with the alchemist and the life stealer. But if you don't actually can't plan on fighting, then I guess it's a better choice.
Yeah, I personally like. I mean, for Morphling players out there, straight up butterfly versus heart, you're just kind of like the stats doesn't matter because you know you use stats so well anyways because you have Morphling. So I feel like evasion, attack speed, armor, these are probably the best kind of late game stats that you could ask for.
We see Xiao Tuji playing very aggressively middle. He does have a life stealer bomb inside of him. Is he going to
Oh.
fight anybody? Oh,
Base out the Burrow Strike, and they're going to go for the kill, but Xiao Tuji got to pop the BKB, but no, it's a two-man Shackle shot, and suddenly the Radiant team just melts. The BKB gets popped here, and Rising Stars on the run. In fact, they want to turn around and fight. You can see that Air driving Mushi away, but Mushi very, very tanky thanks to the Manta and, of course, Strength Morph, and now it's Air going to be in big trouble. When Ohio hits Shackle shots, they win games, and this...
yeah, that was huge. Killing the Alchemist right there.
It was a two-man Shackle shot. 3.75 seconds of chain stun onto two heroes. That is better than 2 Scythe of Ice. That is absolutely insane. Orange Esport wins that team fight despite buyback coming out from the Alchemist. And I think they could just walk straight into the Roshan pit. Look at the big creep wave on mid and bot, so the Radiant has to defend against that as well. I think Orange Esport just put themselves in a very, very far head position.
Yep, all they need is like an Aegis and a Morphling, and they can just do whatever they want to Rising Stars.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rising Star has been playing so well in terms of making farming comebacks, but they just can't win any team fight. And it's not like they're facing against Chronosphere or any kind of big like Chain Frost or Dream Coil. There's nothing big. It's just simple Shackle Shot, simple two-man Burrow Strike. I don't think Extinct has been hitting like mega burrows or mega epicenters. It's just like standard 1 or 2 man, and that's all they need because of this Shackle.
This is a very long Roshan attack, and Mushi will get the Aegis,
Into the dark.
and he's already back up to 2,600 gold even after just recently buying that butterfly.
Yeah. And I think now he's going to go for maybe even Scotty. Like, he's going to become a tanky force. Scotty's slow, really good against melee heroes now. And those illusions are unignored, unignorable, as they will be doing a ton of damage. If that's the item he's going to be going for. Any other thoughts in terms of items, what he should be going for? He just bought something. Looks like he's going for
Let's
Helm.
see. Yeah, HOD is not bad either. It's decent. It gives you a lot of armor, but he already has a ton of armor to begin with. 22 when he's morphed into this much agility. 27 now.
I personally like Scotty a little bit more. But
Yeah, it's good for it's good while you have the BKB up if they intend to focus you down, whether it be through an Abyssal Blade or just a sheer right clicks to an Alchemist. But usually you can just tank it through, and then with a Scotty you can actually work against the opponent's BKBs, against the Rage and the Life Stealer, and try and kite him during those, or just chase him down, either or.
it doesn't matter. As long as you're getting like good items on Morphlings, like as long as you just add more and more item, make yourself tankier and tankier, you should be fine. We're gonna see some ganks attempt here against Mushi. Really don't think it's gonna work out. They track Yama. Ooh, nice force that forward, but he just goes back home. Back in the middle here. Let's go. I'm Super is playing way too aggressively.
I mean, Windrunner has a gem. He just wasn't with his team at the time.
It's lucky for Super right now. Does Super have a TP throw back home? He doesn't. He has to get to the secret shop right now because I think Orange is thinking about game-ending push. Well, Orange, let's quickly check out how we're doing in terms of buyback. There is buyback on XCT. There's a buyback on Super. But these buyback are quite irrelevant as the Orange Esport now starting to siege on the high ground. Acid Spray is fairly annoying. Shackle shot not lashing it very, very close. Playbow gets thrown out as well as multiple track. Mushi just gaining high ground very easily. Gets lifted, gonna get tossed back as well. Don't think anything's gonna be happening. And they'll back off for now.
Yeah, and they have the cheese on the Weaver. They have the Aegis on Mushi. They're ready to go. There's still quite a long time until until the Aegis despawns. Probably about 3.5 minutes there. And they have buyback on Planet of the Heroes. This is the time to make a push.
Yeah, Alchemist forced to finish the MKB instead of Basher, for example, because there's Mushi Butterfly. There is Windrunner on Windrun. So
they caught Mushi out.
I don't know. Can't catch him out. I'm not even sure whether he should shrink more on his first life, because he's just so damn tanky. With the second life, once he goes back with Aegis and BKB, I'm surprised they actually backed off here. It's not like the Radiant has some big spell coming off cooldown. I'm not sure why they gave Rising Star some more farm room. I felt like they could have just slow siege down that tier 3, especially when you have Manta style on Mushi's. And they have 3 minutes on Aegis. Why back off? Keep pushing, guys.
Yeah, well, let's check the buyback status. I think, or what is this fantasy points thing?
What's the fantasy point?
I have no idea. I was clicking on the thing.
Oh,
it says
shoot.
Fantasy points. Well, it looks
is
like
this some TI3 stuff?
Yeah, well, we see Net with the invisibility rune. He is scouting out the heroes of Rising Star right at their Ancients. This could be bad.
Uh-oh, Shackle Shot. That's not going to latch, but they're going to Hex on Air, and Air losing so much HP. Air just melts. Well, I think if they were
does have buyback.
He does a buyback. Hey, might as well force that buyback. And Rising Star is going to just maybe split push up top. I think this is a tier I3, what's it? Is it Q? Not Q. O?
It's O?
Yeah, I think this might be a TI3 because last time we had a fantasy league being done by Dota-Academy.com. I think this might be done by Valve this time. No official word on that, just my personal guess. And you could keep track of Sexy Bambo getting negative points this year at TI3. Well, never mind, he's not there. Just all these flames against Sexy Bambo. Love you, Sexy Bambo, if you're watching. Oh, here comes Air trying to Mambo against Ohio, but that's not going to work out. Razor already used as well as Abyssal Blade. They got to back off, and with these spells on cooldown, I think Orange is about to take Rex.
Yeah, I don't think that Windrunner is the hero choice, but it's just so difficult to focus any of the heroes on Orange right now. If you focus anyone except for the Windrunner, he will just force that away. He has a sheep right after the rage ends. I think that Ohio has been playing just amazingly this game.
Ohio always plays amazingly, so just no surprise, at least for me. And Creep Wave is pushing up top here, and Orange is just dragging this one out. Again, I felt for the longest time, after they took the Aegis, they could have just basically won. Also, you can see that Mushi, well, he doesn't have a teleport scroll. He could just drop his treads, teleport back to the tier 1 tower, and then relocate back to his allies, pick up his treads, and continue to push. But he's making a long walk,
So I think if they pick up Lifestealer one more time, they could easily break a T3 and a Rex, especially if
they could do it without even doing it. Like, they just could walk up.
Yeah, I think they could do it without it too, but looks like they want to play it safe for a little bit. Checking the status on Aegis, a little less than a minute.
Yeah, I mean, they had Aegis for 6 minutes.
Oh, are they going to find these heroes?
Sand King does have a Blink Dagger. Go, 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 go. You got to see a couple of guys, right? Sand King's thinking about it. Waveform backwards here. Blink, blink. Oh. Track BKB getting forced out here. I think with BKB down, you could still make the push. And here comes Super on the back line here, trying to go for the kill. They see Net, right? Net's going to be the easy kill. They do open up with the Impale. They're going to focus him down. Nice pick off here from Rising Star. And again, Orange Esport, they had such a long advantage, but they're just
squandering it.
Blunder. What a blunder.
And there goes the Aegis.
Yeah, there goes the Aegis. Xiaotuji now pushing on the bot lane here. He can rely on his BKB TP to make it back home. Nothing will cancel to do that one. Or he could just walk straight back home as well. We do have XCD going into Vismo. Gotta be careful next to that Windrunner. Still has that gem. Had that gem for days.
And I think that they could have executed that push in mid just a little bit better too. I think they could have had Mushi just in middle or just in bottom or top lane and pushing that in with his Menta and just replicating someone in mid. As soon as they go on middle, you just replicate in and proceed to destroy somebody. But most of the times, split pushing with Morphling is generally a better idea if you want to get those T3 downs.
Yeah, and this is why Orange Esports is not known to win a lot of tournaments, right? They're a team that always goes deep. They're a team that can finish your 5th and 6th place, but they never actually win the tournament because I don't think they're clutch enough. Sometimes their late game decision making is not where it needs to be. I feel like they could have won the game by now, but they're giving RisingStar a lot of unnecessary. Why you don't want to look at the 17 billion fantasy point on?
Mine's at like 13 or like 1.1 billion maybe.
Mine's on 7 billion something, and then meanwhile RisingStar have 0. So no, we're going back and forth. But
and look at the net worth now. Alchemist has 21,000. Mushi just a little bit ahead with 23,000, but rather stagnant game. And RisingStars just not being able to pick off those track kills. They've been.
now forget the track kills. Like
Forget the track kills.
forget the track kills. If they get the Roshan next fight, and they get the Aegis, I'm gonna call them they win the game. Orange Esport, they play the early game so well. Mushi is farmed to hell, but they're not split pushing, right? You have 2 of the best split pushing carry.
The game.
How to end the game? Somebody write a guy on that.
Well, I mean, the difference in gold earn is still very, very. Oh, on right side.
Yeah, it doesn't matter here as we have. Is he back home? Yeah. I mean, Mushi's not dying. And the fact that he's not dying means he can be split pushing like a boss. He's not split pushing like a boss. The creep wave, equilibrium should be over here. Equilibrium should be over here. But, that ain't happening.
There's a smoke. There's a 5-man smoke from the heroes. Ooh, this could be very, very big. Let's see who's going to get caught first. Looks like Super. Is he going to go that way?
Oh my god, these guys are just not running into each other's. Oh, they will actually find Air. You talked about killing Air one more time, preventing him at the buyback. He does actually go down, but it hasn't been 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, 1.5 minutes left, so it's been 4.5, and looks like he will respawn before his buyback is even up.
Bro Strike's going to find XTD, and those Blink Daggers.
Man, this Sheep by Windrunner, he's been getting him every time on the nakes before he can pop his life, before he can pop his rage.
Yeah, also the Blink Burrow Strike initiation. 2 instant initiations. Alchemist is going to get 1 tower. That's going to force Mushi to TP back, but he does have relocate, or replicate, so he should be able to push out the wave a little bit. Maybe even have the leisure to go back in the fountain and get some mana, and then rejoin his allies to go for what should be a game-ending push. Basher gets picked up here by Alchemist. He might just straight up go Abyssal. I think he might have to. I think if he's forced to buyback, they will just flat out lose the game.
Yep, Mushi getting his mana back home. About 30 seconds left on the life stealers respawn time. There's a buyback from the bounty hunter. Wow, they're actually trying their very, very hardest to defend this, even without the life stealer.
Okay, XY's gonna come back in. Shackle shot. That's gonna lash. My goodness. And they're gonna focus. No, it's not gonna lash on anything. Super coming back in here, getting a little bit of stun. BKB's gonna be activated left and right. Xiao Juji bashing away. His BKB's running back out. Drops an acid spray. Everybody's BKB is quite low as well. Shackle shot flies through a second time. Not gonna hit. And that's pretty much it, as we have Orange headlong retreat. They're actually not able to break the base. No, they're definitely not breaking the base here. Ohio getting focused here at Xiao Juji. He's got the MKB, so you can't run away. They're going to focus on XCD, but they don't get the focus on. They're now chasing for a little bit more kill. Xting in big trouble. Xting's also going to go down. That's 3 or 4 track kills, and you can see that XCD is Sakuching up here to get a little bit more lifting action. And guess what? Roshan is back. I called it. If they get this Aegis, they win the game. Is Xiao Juji going for it? He wants Mushi. Forget Mushi. You don't get the kill against Mushi. God, just go for the Aegis, please.
And they need another gem on the side of Orange, too. They still have the cheese on the Weaver, and Morphling didn't die, but he has 5,600 gold. I think he needs to spend his gold just so that he can win one more team fight. That should have gone a lot better. They picked up 2 heroes with a smoke in.
And they still can't break the base.
They still can't break the base. They didn't
oh,
get the
Mushi waveforms back in. Who's going to take the Aegis? Looks like nobody has slots. It's going to be a Xiao Chuji that picks up the Aegis. So what is preventing you, RisingStars, from just moving in to the lane?
Neither teams want to do it.
Why not? Well, RisingStar was never in a position to do that until now. I think now they definitely can do it. With Aegis up on Alchemist, they have Cheese on Air as well. They have Blink Dagger on Super. They are just farm. Like, they also got like 4 or 5 track kills in the previous team fight. It is go time for RisingStar.
And looking at the gold graph, after that one last fight in the Roshan, it has taken
holy crap.
Almost an 8,000 gold swing in favor of RisingStars.
Late game track?
Yeah, late game track.
Yeah,
Told you, man. Don't hate on the track kills.
Well, it's not the track kills. It's
That
real.
track gold.
It's really the fact that Rising Star is able to win team fight because Orange is twirling their thumbs. They're saying, "Hey, man, let's farm one more item on Mushi."
Mushi loves his farm.
Dude,
He's
oh my
falling
God.
behind Alchemist now.
Yeah, I mean, Grievo's greed.
Grievo's greed, man.
There is just so much disappointment right now. Like, it's as if I had a son, and he got a A- on like math.
Math. Oh.
Like,
Ooh, that's rough.
there is just so much disappointment in this game.
And another butterfly pickup. We see one on the bounty hunter. And what is Mushi and the rest of Team Orange going to do right now? I don't know if they have any smokes up. There is one on the Visage. I think they could just pretty much do the same thing again, but unfortunately, this time, there's the Aegis on the Alchemist, as well as the buyback. There's the cheese on the Lifestealer, as well as the buyback, and the ties have changed.
Yeah, the tides have definitely changed. I mean, they definitely could rely on the initiation. We saw the Blink Burrow Strike. We saw the Hex being on point, being able to actually take down a ton of targets. And then they could chase for more and more and more as they find these kills. And I think that's exactly what they're looking for. I mean, if Orange Esports still ends up winning this game,
Oh, they're split up almost.
they are fairly split up. That could be pretty bad here as Air needs to go with his friends, and he does.
Are they not smoking?
They
Well,
don't need to
guess they could
smoke. I
just-
think this is a very slow push. This is a very smart positioning coming out from Rising Star. Everybody else on the north side.
There's a smoke.
Oh, here comes the ultimate backstab from the Orange Esport. Air is going to be rearing up the back lines. If you could initiate against him, they do find him. Where's the Hex? They do Hex him up. Here comes BKB on Xiao Chuchi. Blink Impale. Just focus on Ohio. Yes, Ohio just dies immediately. ky.xy. The bash goes on. He also goes down. And Mushi is the only really last line of defense. He's trying to 1v everybody. Xiao Chuchi should be fine. He dodges away for him. Still on the run. Still very tanky. He runs out his ultimate for him, and the rest of the supports on the Radiant side in big trouble as well. Mushi solo carry against the rest of the team. Xiao Chuji gonna be fine. I think that was a decent fight though if you're Rising Star because they lost Super for I think a buyback on Weaver, a kill on Ohio, basically a 2-for-1 trade, 2-for-3 trade.
Yeah, it was not bad at all. And Morphling was almost 6 out at this point. He is just huge. How did they kill him? But the big problem is that Lifestealer just gets sheeped and focused down every single fight, and they're forced to fight 4-on-5 from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess did Lifestealer buyback in that team fight as well? I think he survived.
No, he definitely bought back. Well, I'm checking his buyback status right now. It says still 5 minutes on it, but
Okay.
maybe it'd be better for him to sit inside like the Alchemist or sorts, and immediately as soon as you pop out of your infest, just rage. But he can't get any uptime during these fights.
I mean,
Oh,
if
there's a Bloodstone on the Rubik. What? Dang. This is how long the game's
suicide heal time? What?
What?
What the?
I don't know. How did he get this item?
All right, so before we talk about whether Bloodstone's a good item here, let's remind that Bloodstone costs about 5k, and if he did not spend on Bloodstone, he could be going for what? A Hex?
Heck, it's cheaper than
So
Hex.
do you think Bloodstone is better than Hex?
I mean, I think the respawn timer is actually a really big deal, but Rubik is not the most important hero. I mean, he's a good hero.
Do you think the heal is a big deal for the team?
Because
Because against the Sanking Ultimate,
Well, the thing is that Lifestealer is going to die at the start anyways.
not if you suicide heal.
Not if he suicides it.
This is so next level. It's so next level that is almost previous level.
Here's the Lifestealer bomb. Let's see if they get any kills.
This is a Blink Dagger Lifestealer bomb from Super, so.
Well, Muchi, I'm still like pretty like ridiculous. This one on bottom where they blink, tried to go on him with the Nixon system, but he was able to waveform out and already had a pre-replicate. So
Yeah.
Muchi's been playing very, very well, only dying once this entire game, even though they've been constantly searching for kills.
Yeah, that first death came on a 4-man gank on the mid lane, like 10 minutes in. So Mushi has not been dying for quite a bit. Breacher Travel picked up, and that's really kind of the finishing touches of your global pushing Morphling.
Yeah, and he has Chrysalis.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not sure whether I like the Chrysalis. I don't think Morphling is hurting for damage. We saw even before the Chrysalis, he was
Scotty, man.
I really think it's Scotty. In terms of more of a late game ultimate, stacking your stats, getting a ton of HP, but he doesn't think so. And Rising Star also does not make the push with the Aegis. They try on the mid lane. They lost a team fight. So both teams getting A minuses in math for me. Both teams, just disappointment.
Like your A minus.
A
math-
minus. I
math
hope they get
sons.
disowned by their family. Okay, maybe that's a little bit harsh. But I hope their girlfriends leave them. After
Age is
seeing this game.
reclaimed very, very shortly from now, and looks like Alchemist will not have it anymore.
Yeah, he's gone for Mantis style. Thoughts on that item? You like Butterfly quite a bit.
Yeah, I like Butterfly. Mantis style is okay.
It's good for sieging.
Yeah, it's decent for sieging. I also think they should switch the cheese and the Aegis. I think the Aegis should go to Lifestealer just because you go to the
Yep. Oh, force that back out here. I'm unfortunately unable to use that cheese shackle shot. Nice dodge here on the BKB. Again,
If
Orange.
only there was some way to slow them during
Radiant's
BKB
top tower
Yeah.
is under
with an item that rhymes with Scotty.
Yeah. That rhymes with. That rhymes with Scotty. That is Scotty.
Radiant's top tower has
I don't think it's that even matters. Again, Orange Esport for the longest time had the initiation. Rising Star had that one shot to just go for the win. They just don't go for it. Mantasao gets popped here. Shackle shot does hit on Xiao Tuji. Xiao Tuji still very tanky. They're gonna focus on ky.xy. Gotta bash him up. He's also dead. Does he buy back and relocate back in the fight? He doesn't here. And Xiao Tuji getting out man mode thanks to that Chrysalis. No mana left here on Mushi, but he does not care. He's right clicking away again. These shackle shots. My God, Ohio MVP, no questions asked, as he's winning these team fights single-handedly.
No questions asked. Ohio just playing phenomenally. Sheep like on air all the time. Lifestealer didn't do anything past like the 30-minute mark, and just these tackle shots, as we like to call them.
Yeah. Why win the game in 62 minutes when you could win in 40 minutes?
Which is like, hold on, guys, I'm not done farming. I need more items. I need a new BKB. I need my Scotty instead of boots.
This is, I don't know what he's actually pausing for, but he say wait, and then I think dropped again. That is the literal translation. But my question is, what is he pausing for? Because half the enemy team is dead, and he just is A-moving and winning the entire game. I don't think he needs whoever else, but okay. Let's just wait.
Oh, there it is. Lifestealer getting picked off again. He has the cheese. I just don't like the item choice of the Aegis and the cheese. Just because of the way every single gank is going to the smoke gank. Lifestealer dies. If he respawns, at least he can maybe do something.
Yeah, XCD.
Oh, there's another gem.
Are they really backing off?
It looks like it.
Okay.
Mushi's not done farming, man.
Mushi is not the. He still could improve his item. He's gonna get Daedalus on top. He could swap out his BKB. BKB is only down to 4 seconds. In fact, does he even need BKB at this point in the game? I'm not too sure.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But Rising Star at least is gonna get a little bit more breathing room. They're gonna have at least one more fight in them. Orange Esport are just the perfect enemy that you want to face because they beat you very mercifully. It's like, you have one more fight in you. Here's one more fight.
We're not gonna end it right now.
Yeah. Rising Star says, okay, all right, we'll take that one more fight. I mean, for them is, all hope is lost, right? If we check a net worth here, finally we do see Morphling going back up on top. As Alchemist has, Alchemist is also 6-stacked. I mean, Lifestealer, is he 6-stacked? Pretty close to it. Unfortunately,
close.
he's public enemy #1 every single team fight. So
Yeah. Well, Roshan does respawn in 1 minute. I'm curious to see whether Orange is going to wait for that or not. They probably should smoke if they find a kill. By all means, go for it. If not, then they can choose to play a little bit passively.
here, I wonder what last item is he looking for. He's got 3K gold right now. Buyback is available. Maybe that's just what he's saving up for. I kind of feel like maybe he should go for Lincoln Sphere if this game goes late enough. But is he going for Reaver? Just tank it up?
I think
Reaver,
Lincoln Sphere would be pretty good. Yeah, Reaver into a heart is not bad either.
Yep. And it definitely helps you tank. The entire orange lineup has been sitting here for the past minute or so, expecting a smoke gank. It finally does come now.
They're just going to smoke King Roshan, man.
Roshan nowhere close to be up just yet. I mean, oranges definitely knows they're being smoke ganked, so.
Yeah, let's see if they used any bait. I mean, they shot the power shot from the high ground. They have to know that I don't think any of those heroes are here.
Gandhi's gonna clip a guy, clip a bird. Bounty, by the way, has gone at Butterfly as well. I'm not sure why you go Butterfly on the Bounty Hunter. I guess it's okay against Morphling, but I think the Butterfly has gone. The Butterfly has came after the MKB on Weaver, so I felt like that's a bad choice. But you know, to each your own.
Well, checking on buyback status now, or fantasy points.
Or fantasy points.
What is that?
Gotta look at the fantasy point. Blink. Oh, super. Gotta get out of there. Big baby guys come in. Xiao Tuji's gonna focus on Extinct. Extinct got. Oh my God. Extinct just melted. Woo. It's
No
5v4. 5v4 situation. Blink on against Super. Ooh. Lift him up. Lift him up. Lift Ohio. Ohio's dead as well.
Wow, he does not have buyback.
Oh my God. It's 5v3 in front of Orange's
And
face.
we see a
Net
whiffs.
whiffs. Okay.
This is on Mushi. Can he do it? Can he carry 3v5?
Dire structures are
Wow,
fortified.
what a turnaround.
Radiant's top barracks are under
Okay,
attack.
alright, that's a blinking, but that's on everybody. Here comes Mushi trying to manmo everybody up, but there's double Abyssal Blade. Just find the correct one. They have found him. Mushi down to about half down to a quarter. He gets lifted up. He's dead. He's got buyback. I use that buyback. If you're Xiao Tuji, you find that Rax and you right click the shit out of that Rax. They're doing so. They're going to get the melee. They're going to get the range. Top lane is under siege. And if RisingStars can back off right now because they're on parity, no, they want to go for the win right now. And Xiao Tuji says, let's go for it, man. If if Orange Esports is going to give us all the chances in the world to make a comeback, we'll make the comeback.
Mushi
RisingStar.
is TPing on bottom though. It's going to be a throne race. But I don't. Did he make a replicate image? I hope he did.
Uh-oh, I hope he did as well because there is Abyssal Bash. He has made it back home. He did not get any throne raise, so
But he forced. Maybe they can catch these two heroes off.
maybe they can. XCD does have Force Staff, does have Sakuchi. XCD does have Invisibility and Phase
They don't
and
have a
BKB,
gem.
and they will just back off. So
They need the roast in. They need the Aegis on Mushi. Or
he
I
doesn't
think
have slots.
yeah.
He doesn't have slots, so I guess you give it to Ohio. I feel like every member of Orange Esports is so important, but more importantly, why is RisingStar? Oh, what?
What? What just happened? What? He has buyback, I guess. Whoa.
What is going on at this game right now? Xiao Tuji walks back and sees Extinct and is just gonna shred him apart. Easy kill. Gonna work towards the second. There's a bash. He's working on it. Ned's working for the. He does not blink because of the Acid Spray. He's not Burrow Strike on the low ground, but he's just not doing enough. XCD forcing himself out. He's gonna get Hex. He's gonna get Power Shot back down, but he's gaining some HP back. Mushi now going for some work. XCD's now bashing and working away. He's gotta run. Burrow Strike's gonna find him as well. He's also gonna go down. Just kills being traded back and forth. I just don't know what's going on with this game anymore. Xiao
Does
Tuji.
not even have BKB.
Oh, he does not have BKB.
He's dropped it for the Aegis.
I think that's a poor choice because he's not gonna die. He really isn't gonna die. Well, he did die that previous team fight, but he had
There's
buyback.
still a cheese in there. I don't know if no one saw it, but
Well, now the Dire definitely knows. So there's the
yeah,
Black King bar.
Pick it up, bros. There you go, Net. There you go. The problem is these orange supports just die so fast during the BKB.
Yep.
And it's through a stun lock too. Morphling, he can try to kill them, but he doesn't do as much damage as quickly as some of these other heroes. And all 10 heroes, none of them have buyback.
Buyback overrated. Well, actually, everybody has buyback except I think
Everyone
Ohio.
fought back.
Yeah, pretty much as everybody has buyback here. Let's check
And
out how
Alchemist has one now.
Alchemist has buyback cooling down.
He only
Yes,
has
does.
7,200 gold.
I think it's time. Well, I was gonna say it's time to swap a BKB. I think he might have done that already. He's up to an 8-second BKB. This is the perfect set of item, right? Maybe. I don't think you ditch the Manta Style. I think Manta Style is okay.
I think you just died in neutrals.
No, that will be Air. Air has died to neutrals.
He had a cheese too. What is he?
He thought he was like, he could armlet toggle, but creeps OP. You can't armlet toggle against creeps.
Oh my goodness. This
Alright.
game is crazy.
All right, here comes the smoke. Here comes the smoke. Rising Star. Who's got the gem? Who's got the gem? There is one on Sand King.
That looks like he's about to get destroyed. Or Ohio.
Uh-oh. Here comes Force Staff 4 against Ohio. Ohio, he's got the Hex, and he just got bursted down. He doesn't have buyback. It's 5v4, and they're going to go right in here. Oh, no, they only found the illusion. Oh, that's Mushi. They also missed the second bash, and here comes Ned coming out with a two-man epicenter. They don't have BKB, but they will find Mushi. Mushi doesn't have buyback, but he does have Aegis. They will burn him down very quickly. Xiao Tuji's ultimate form running out very quickly. Time lapse back, ky.xy. They know Mushi's coming right back. Got it bashing up. He's on the run as well. This is a war of illusions. XCD. Oh, no, that's a two-man impale. Gonna ky.xy, the birds are dropping down. 1, 2, 3. They're getting a perfect chain stun. If you see Mushi, he's not participating on the team fights. He's going for the back door, and now Xiao Chuji and the rest of the team says, we're gonna go for mega creeps. What is?
He has a DD.
Oh my goodness, Mushi now thinks about going back. He's just standing there. He's now TPing back. Oh no, he's wasted tons of time. They now see Mushi TPing back, and they will back off, but they do have Bish him up, bash him up, whatever that is. Kill Mushi. Mushi dies a second time. Does he have buyback? He does not.
Wow.
Dire's top barracks has
What just
fallen.
happened in this game?
Dire's
Well, that's mega creeps, but to be honest, no,
Mushi-
actually, it's not mega creeps.
Mushi just got Bish slapped.
Dire's middle tower.
What in the world?
Dire's middle
was that?
tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
I'm speechless.
I'm speechless. The game speaks for itself. How many times did I say Orange could win this game? Like,
Mushi doesn't want to fight unless he's 6-slotted. He doesn't want to end the game until he has all 6 items filled up.
well, the game ended with 6 slots filled up. Maybe 5 because he dropped something for Aegis and he lost the Aegis. Well, there was 565 last hit on Mushi, but in my opinion, 300 more last hit than was necessary. RisingStar will eke out a win in Game 2 against Orange Esport, and who knows what's going to happen in Game 3. I really don't know.
I don't
I don't know.
No
like,
clue.
I have no clue.
I have no
right now.
closing thoughts on that game.
Well, normally we say send it back to Bruno and James, but they ain't here, so we'll let the viewers at home and think about why Morphling farm late game and why they have no buyback and why they lose this game. Game 3 coming up
Basher's
next.
OP.
Basher Bishing. Bisher's OP. I lost it. All right, Game 3 coming up next, and you don't want to go anywhere and see how the series ends up. RisingStar and Orange, Game 3 coming up next.